Hello ladies and gentlemen, Azaka here. I'm bringing to you another video for the Conqueror's Blade, published by Porus Interactive and my games developed by Booming Tech. We are sorry, this is the announcement for the update log for May 9th. Obviously we have the regular update time from 12:30 to 15:30 UTC plus 3, so it's regular 3 hours. We get the 8,000 bronze coins, 300 honor, 15 unit medals as compensation. And for our first event, we have the limited time return of Champion Trove. Get exclusive Dragon Rise weapon attire. Uh, so it does look like there's going to be a bow attire, a short sword and shield attire, and another jewel blade attire. Um, Visually, they're not that how to say appealing, not to me anyway. Though I do like the color of red, something bright, something vibrant. It's how to say there's a lot of lack of color sometimes with the attires that there's just so much red in Chinese themes that like it gets overwhelming sometimes. When you're just looking at it just like this, it kind of looks good, but like when you look at a whole bunch of things, you kind of find a pattern. But again, attires are completely subjective. You may like it, um, you may not. I do think that um, the shape of the weapons are just not that visually appealing. The color is good. Well, that's on this. If the color is like this in game, that would be fine as well. I like more vibrant colors. Anyway, how Treasure Trove works is that you accrue stars by earning a winning streak in the Champion Trove. However, you'll lose all your stars in defeat. Accrue stars to upgrade the Trove. 1 star for Iron Chest, 2 star for Silver Chest, 3 star for Gold Chest. The first Gold Chest you open is guaranteed to contain a weapon attire selection box. Now, you can have a chance to get weapon skins in the Gold Chest. It ain't guaranteed. Only your first gold chest is guaranteed to give you a weapon selection box, a weapon attire selection box. That only happens once. So you can use protection tickets to keep your stars even in defeat. This is very useful, of course, if you're really struggling to get 3 wins in a row. There are, again, good people that play well, beat up the enemy team, super easy, instantly. Just just win three times in a row. Yeah, win 6 times. I mean, not win 6 times. Win 9 times in a row. Just get all of the golden chests at that. My first week, like 2 seasons ago, it was like that. I got 9 wins in a row, and I didn't even break a sweat. I one day, just 9 wins in a row, got it instantly. Next week was a little bit harder. Following week, not too bad. I say that, but again, the experience varies. So, um, protection tickets are used in the deployment phase. I know there was a bug when it was first implemented, or at some point that like protection tickets stopped working. Like even if you selected it, it wouldn't protect your losses, but it wouldn't be consumed. So at least there's that. Anyway, use in the deployment phase to prevent any loss of stars should you lose the battle. This item only consumes when defeated. The champion trope will implement the leadership return rule set. So 50% of leadership will be returned when the unit retreats, while leadership will not be returned when the unit dies. Warlords will have the ability to use any unit except the Dragon Rise unit, season unit, Chevaliers, and Metalladors. So, again, I think in this case, we'll have. What was the last season now? Avalon? I believe it was Avalon. So we'll probably be seeing some Lancelots around. I don't expect the Bedivere Rangers, and I definitely don't expect the Galahad Spearmen. But definitely probably we'll see some Lancelots on the field. This game mode is interesting because of just the sheer amount of leadership they give you. As I continue to read, it does say that it gives you 1800 leadership. Now, why this is interesting is because even if you play free battle, 5 gold tier units only amounts to about 1500, 1600. Not even 1600 because you would have to have like you would have to have like 5 units that like have 30, 20. Oh, well, you could. But like yeah, 1800 leadership is essentially you can have like up to 5 tier 5 units. Tier 5 units are like as cheap as like sitting around 300 now, just a little bit above or a little bit lower than 300. 1800 leadership throwing out 6 tier 5s is bloody insane. Um Also, just thinking about it, you could throw out 9. No, I mean, like, that would be kind of ridiculous. Probably like 8 tier 4s. And that's ridiculous as well. Just the amount of time it would take just to pull out a unit, throw it at the enemy, going back, get a new one. It would be very, 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 very time consuming. I think a best rotation is about 4 units, 3 rotations if the game is relatively slow, 4 units if the game is pretty fast. But having like 6 available units, even if you just throw units at the enemy, you'll probably run out of time before you even like used your last one. Attackers can deploy 2 rare artilleries, while the defenders can deploy 1. I skipped over this, but again, you will be provided equipment, artillery, and the equipment refined for the generals are, again, standardized. Not particularly sure exactly what is given. Like, if you wear a rare schematic set, are you just given a legendary version of that with no extra attributes, so you get the set bonus still? If you wear an epic set, do you get a legendary version of that with no extra attributes, but you still get the set value? I'm not entirely sure about that. Not really tested it myself. If someone could tell me, that would be great. Unfortunately, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't know. The one thing that I do know that is affected by this is the attributes you choose on the thing. I'm not entirely sure if the I'm not entirely sure if the runes work either. But regardless, seasonal restrictions have no effect. Has to do with the fact that this game mode once came in around the tier 4 early on, so again, this is pretty much meaningless since we don't have any seasonal restrictions right now. As with most special game modes, only match up with 3 people. Again, wants to lower the party size. There is a bias towards people who have teams of 5, and again, people who work together, fight together, bigger chance of victory because teamwork. Cavalry have limitations. Each player can deploy a maximum of 3 cavalry units. Again, this is an implementation where it's just like, you shouldn't really need it, but the fact that they do just tells you already that cavalry is busted. Absolutely busted. And I would also say that even with 3, it still feels like it's too much because that's half your leadership to cavalry. And to imagine many players who play this game modes were putting more than half of their leadership into cavalry is already frightening. Now, the next part is one of my favorite, absolute favorite. I kind of want this to be implemented to other game modes and see how it goes, especially for just regular siege. Ranked, ranked would be a wild shakeup, but test it out in normal siege. Let's see where we go. All map flags can only be captured and interrupted by warlords. Units no longer take part in the capturing. So even if you have your unit on the flag, the enemy hero will still capture the point. But if the defender's hero was on the point, it's blocked. So that is a super interesting change. You can't just leave a super tanky unit on the point to defend it anymore. Hmm. Now, again, this was kind of a trying to throw people in as fast as possible. Each respawn or deployment of a unit will grant the unit a 30% increase in movement speed for 8 seconds. Now, I get that they needed this because people weren't churning through units fast enough because again, even when people were throwing out cavalry, you didn't have much time. Again, most battles are very defender biased. Um, so you normally wouldn't play the whole like 24 or 23 minutes. Either the defenders burn out too fast or the attackers just get completely squashed. So by the time defenders can't defend the early points anymore, they ran out of units and the attackers just steamroll through the rest of the points. Or the defenders just steamroll the attackers early on with pure aggression and just shut out the attackers to the point where they just have the shortest match possible, shortest win for possible for the defenders. But regardless, um, oh, well, I didn't actually say. Each respawn or deployment of a unit will grant the unit a 30% increase in movement speed and for 8 seconds. Probably said this or not. Um, Event exclusive quests available from the Warden, available from May 9 after maintenance, May to May 23rd. So, already tells you that we'll only have 2 weeks to do this event. Uh, So participate in 10 treasure trove matches and achieve a B or better ranking to earn vault keys times 3 and treaties times 2. Participate in 20 treasure trove matches and achieve a B rank or better ranking to earn vault key times 5 and treaty times 3. Win 10 treasure trove matches to earn vault key times 5 and treaty times 5. Again, not very interesting rewards, but you will eventually get them if you play Treasure Trove just for a little bit. I think getting the B ranking is actually super easy unless they nerfed the scoring metrics. They have done this several times. Not sure if it's still nerfed, but having having the ability to throw 6 tier 5 units at your enemy, even if you don't get any kills, just the sheer amount of damage dealt, damage taken, will probably get you above the B rank. Honestly. Special restrictions. At the end of the match, the count obtained from task is halved. So the restriction only affect numerically settled task. For example, accumulate 2,000 unit kill score in any siege or field battle. Task based on the number of matches remain unaffected. For example, participate in any PvP mode 5 times. After May 9th, sorry, May the time frame is May 9th after maintenance, May 23rd before maintenance. So if I screwed up any of the dates here, sorry about that. Please refer to J event to check the opening times for the gameplay. Now, for the second event, we have the Lawly Coffers. So we get a brand new poleaxe attire, the Titanic Ironbone. Now, this is actually a very, very interesting looking attire. I definitely do like the looks. It's more of an axe than anything, more of an axe than a poleaxe, and I would love, I would love it if it wasn't for the fact that poleaxe's animations are just really terrible. Like the majority of their damaging ones don't like Berk de Coben is so slow, barely hits like it barely damages anything at this point. It's just too slow. It does okay damage, but it's just too slow. Um, so if again, like I'd love to use this and swing this and watch me swing this around with some cool wide animations, but um, again, poleaxe, all you're doing is really push, pull, and slam onto the ground. Maybe the combo looks great. Probably with this weapon, it will look even better. Or the choke, rough justice. That being said, opening the Lordly Coffers 10 times guarantee you every possible reward contained within, including the exclusive, I know it says epic bow attire, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be epic poleaxe attire. It was an epic bow attire the last time. Um, or was that the time before that? And it's still, yeah, not sure. Um, I do understand that it does look like the Titanic Ironbone is a poleaxe skin, and I highly doubt it is going to be an epic bow attire, so that's just a typo. Probably just a copy and paste from last time. Anyway, the first opening is free, other subsequent ones requires vault keys. The cost increases with each opening vault keys required per 10. Ah, it says per 10 open, but it just says required to open all 10, or I mean like receive all 10 rewards. So you get 0 to, so 1, 2, 3, so that's 6 together, so that's 14, 20, 26, 26, 40, 60, 85, 115. So you need 115 keys to get all 10 rewards. Obviously, the time frame goes from May 9th after maintenance to May 23rd before maintenance. Please refer to O to check the rewards and possibilities. So the number 3, we have another attire treasure rotation. Now, I actually love this attire, mostly because the gauntlets and the face mask. This is also very similar to the Onibi. I think it's the Onibi attire. But there are some additional additions, or if you were to kind of have them side by side, there's probably more differences you can say. But if you were to look at their silhouettes, they look very similar. I just like this version much better. So, the return of the hero attire embroidered uniform officer for a limited time goes from May 9th to May 23rd. Limited time doctrine pool. The Rolling Hills is open, blah, 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 blah. So you get the Epic Lancer doctrines. Again, not terribly interesting, so yeah. Goes from May 9th to May 23rd. So we got the Warfare Challenge Pack rotation. Helheim and Coliseum packs are now available, and they rotate out the Highlanders and the Paragons. That is, I think, I think I like the Coliseum units because they're just more interesting to use in the current meta. Um, Helheim only has 2 units, but Varangian guards can be real tanky, but it's just not worth it. They don't deal enough damage, and the Huskarl's usability in the drain. Uh, Obviously, just do not deal enough damage, just can't output anything, and just lacks any value in their, well, just their gameplay like would make sense if once they're charged up, they just slam right in and just murder people. But they don't. They honestly don't. Um, so again, just usability issues on both units, just poor performance overall. Um, Not fun to play, honestly. Um, it is very timing dependent, and it's a finicky to set up. Though when you do set it up, sometimes it can pay off, but I guess the payoff is just not that great. There are definitely other units that have larger payoffs for much easier conditions. I mean, just press the number 2 ability and just run around with the tier 5. Anyway, the rotation is from May 9th to May 23rd, so obviously they'll continue rotating these packs. Now, again, I didn't believe that they would change anything. It was very short. They gave us some more information though. So if you've watched the last update I did, my last video anyway. So we have adjustments and optimization. So the balance adjustments. Medal Battalion. Medal defense reduces damage from cavalry by 45%. It's been changed, upping it to reduce damage from cavalry by 65%. So that's 20% increase. Now, Modal Defense, during the formation, the Warlord grants, I say the Warlord grants, but it actually grants the Warlord 20% cavalry damage reduction. Now, I do hate this, but again, it's a buff. So, hate it, I do, but I think most people will love it. Biggest and most important change, I think. I think the damage reduction is already hitting its limits and practically pointless at this point. Increase the number of attack targets by one. Now, why this is important is because a +1 on a unit that has only a hit limit of 1, and I say this, a hit limit of 1 is 100% increase. Medaus are now going to deal 100% more damage in Medal defense. Is that going to change? Is that going to change a lot of things? Maybe. Quite honestly, you're going to receive more damage from Medaus in Medal defense. Do they have weaknesses still? Obviously. There are plenty of units that will just rinse Medaus into oblivion. Men at Arms will still trash Medaus. Maybe you could kill a few more, but their increase in damage in this case puts them closer to the performance of Halberdiers. I think Halberdiers still output probably slightly under 100% more damage, and that's kind of ridiculous. I think Medaus probably push out, not including any of the bonus damage, 1600 damage. Phalanx, Phalanx Halberdiers push out absolute insane 2.5 to 3,000 damage. No bonuses, by the way, just straight up, just that much damage. Crazy, I know, right? So Medal defense, so Medals will definitely, I think Medals will definitely hit meta. In the testing that I have done, Medals do enough damage to straight up kill cavalry now. That is to say that if they were by themselves, not distracted by anything, cavalry charges them, no cavalry gets through. Whole cavalry unit dies now. This has been a big time coming. I've said this before. Medals just do not output enough damage to just shut down a cavalry, and no way in hell will they ever be able to stop cavalry because the hit limit is the problem. They did try to do something funny, and I think it didn't work because they didn't code it correctly. You see, last change with the Medals, they did something with Medal defense, increased the targets from 1 to 3. This refers to another different type of instance, damage instance or attack. Not sure how to explain it, but while in Medal defense, I classify, or I say we, those that I talk to anyway, classify the stab, otherwise the actual attack animation, as an attack, while we refer to the other section as brace tick. This is again different from the normal pike brace tick, though it is very similar. Um, why is it different? Because this brace tick ticks very much slower, and it is restricted by the attack animation. Well, it looks like there's some restrictions to this brace tick, but anyway, for what I understand, Badal's attacks stuns cavalry straight up. 1 second is done. If you have the doctrine, 2 seconds done. The brace tick doesn't stun cavalry. That is the problem. The brace tick does nothing. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't even, from what I understand, that brace tick doesn't apply any effect, which is strange. But that being said, this +1 is to their attack itself. So much more damage is going to come out. Going to be able to kill cavalry in a snap. Charge that cavalry into the medals, you're going to lose it. Well, you're probably losing quite much of your cavalry anyway, but it's just going to be twice as effective. Twice as effective. And again, we've hit the upper limit on damage resistance. This 20% increase to damage reduction against cavalry, if you go bottom line, you're going to have so much damage resistance that any damage resistance that you put on to the medal, like you won't need, like I'll be honest, you won't even need the cavalry damage reduction doctrines because the damage reduction on down defense is so high now that you just literally capped. You're capped. 95% is the maximum damage resistance or the maximum you can reduce someone's damage. Like the minimum I've ever seen for anything is 5%. And I mean like I've seen damage numbers in the like taken for like 14s and like 10s. I managed to see like something like 9 or something. I haven't seen a 1 before, but that's to do with like some brace ticks, which only has like a base damage of like 300 or something. That being said, um, continuing on, we have Borderashio's base piercing damage going from 192 to 140. Sorry, 100, 1,492. Wow, I am saying these wrong numbers. 1,092 to 1,492. Now, this is an increase of something like 38%. Wow, that's a lot of damage increase for Forte. Will this put them back in the meta? Probably not, but I would like to see the Forte kind of kind of see some play again. They have been. This is the kind of strange thing. Forte are still good, but they're just really bad in terms of usability. Now, this increase in damage might make them more potent, but it's still going to suffer from those usability issues. It's going to still turn towards their targets. They turn slowly. And in general, I think most people want Forte to stand the still, face the right direction. They want the Forte to look at a singular direction, brace, and just anything that touches or comes from that direction should just straight up die. That's how people want the border ratios to work, but unfortunately, that's not how they work. I wish border ratios kind of work like that. Back in the day, they used to. I mean, there was a limited amount they could probably do around about 30 degrees, maybe if even 30 degrees, but um, the whole 180 thing and also the lower turning rate absolutely killed the unit. Absolutely killed the unit. Brace being able to brace on the spot, big increase. But yeah, I think I think the changes are short-sighted, just buffing the unit to buff for the unit's sake. But on to the Onimushas. Leadership going to be changed from 235 to 225. Now, I understand that Onimushas are kind of weak, but to lowering the leadership, really? There are plenty of things that are more expensive or around the same level, and Onimusha will eat them for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. And they could probably still keep going. Now, this is just a problem with Onimusha's design. It is fundamentally broken. It is high damage, decent enough tankiness. Like, it's not to the point where ISGs will just straight up die to Onimushas, but then again, ISGs are the tankiest shield unit, has bonus damage, those kinds of things. Spear Sergeants, they'll be eaten alive. In general, this unit, like, the design of this unit just makes it very easy for it to just go completely out of control. Not to mention, Disarmed itself is a very, very powerful CC that tends to overlap itself. I'm kind of mixed about whether or not it's overlapping itself or it's not overlapping itself because if it overlaps like it should, Onimusha should basically be cutting down every single polearm, everything that doesn't have a shield because they shouldn't be able to even fight back. That being said, charge base cooldown time from 55 to 35 seconds. Again, utility. Add a new units tag, Battlefield Kitsune. Apparently, they needed to add this as a unit trait, but I believe the description is supposed to be after each charge or sucker onslaught ends, movement speed increased by 25% for 5 seconds. 25% is a weird number. I guesstimate that it would have either been around about 15, 35, well, not 35, about 15, 20, or 25, somewhere in the ballpark. I think I guesstimated it around about to be 20. It wasn't very fast. Honestly, cavalry been getting much faster speed bonuses, and speed bonuses for some of the cavalry speeds up to like 50%. But 20% not particularly fast, doesn't feel very fast. I think the Fenris has some of the fastest, one of the faster ones. I think it's like either it's 25% or it is 50%. I can't remember. It's in the description, so I mean, I could literally just go take a look at it. But don't take my word for it. You should definitely just take a look at the description, see what it says. Now, we got some siege battle adjustments. So, adjustment for matchmaking for siege battle and removal of border fort. Apparently, people don't like border fort. We will continue to optimize the design of border fort preparation to improve the experience. That is interesting. So, when I'm talking about border fort, is it talking about border fort preparations or border fort original? Hmm. Or these are two separate points where they remove border fort and are moving forward with only having border fort preparations. So we'll see. Optimize the issue where the view of the artillery on the wall of Harbor City Siege may be blocked by buildings. Interesting. Um, I'm not particularly sure on which siege weapons those might be applying to. Removal of the Divine Crow artillery from Linwu Fortress. Again, this Divine Crow artillery thing, great that they're removing it, but it was kind of funny that Linwu Fortress still kind of had its one for the defenders. Not that people used it that much to great effect. I think most people would have been able to dodge this Divine Crow or destroy it. Alright, just a bunch of bug fixes and optimizations, and we'll close this up. Fix the issue with the immunity of Maelstrom in the 5th stage of Mole could not be triggered. Again, trying to fix this. Didn't work. Trying to fix it again. Hope it's fixed. Not that I care. Mole can literally die for all I care. I personally think that Mole is, again, a stupid ass class that needs a better identity than just being straight up stronger than everything else. And I say stronger, it is. Its damage output is crazy. Its CC amount crazy. Its low cooldown. The stamina cost is basically a nothing burger. It has bypasses that just makes its entire kit just flow super easily. And again, low cooldown. Though, I mean, I do give credit. Their last rework giving a debuff for when they use those bypasses. Again, big thumbs up. Only problem is that they're still buffing the mole with other things, making it harder to beat it, to deal with it. Its low cooldown still makes it one of the better classes. And if you want to talk about a class that just completely shuts down other, just completely flexible and can do whatever it wants, Pike. I hate Pike because it essentially only has a 3 second cooldown. It has the lowest cooldown of any ult, even beyond. I mean, no, take that back. Chain Dart has like a cooldown of like 23 seconds on its ult. But you get what I mean. All of the new classes has a mechanic of getting low cooldown, high impact abilities. So it's it's just a really, 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 really bad design. Bad design for the classes. They're just straight up superior in a practical sense, in a usability sense, and just fundamentally, they're just very little weakness you can take advantage of using other classes. Fix the issue where the dismounting skill might fail when used on stairs and slopes. Um, I'm not particularly sure what that is actually. Fix the issue where the Valley Fortress occasionally had overly dark lightning on sunny days. Oh, that would have been funny. I've never noticed that. Fix the issue where some models in the Wall Fort would disappear at certain range. Wall Fort. Certain range? Huh. No, not particularly sure on that one either. Fix some known scene issues in Haojing and Aliang. That would probably be for TW. Well, no, that would probably just be people running around those areas. Optimize the dynamic appearance of 4/5 star enemies in surrounded mountains. They will now engage in battle areas earlier. Hmm. Fix the issue of character collisions in the UFU. Probably a TW thing. Fix the issue of the abnormal movement speed displayed for the Zweihanders in. Fix the issue of the abnormal movement speed display for the Zweihanders in the unit deployment interface. Abnormal movement speed. Wow, someone's gonna have to tell me about that one. I have no idea what they were talking to. Optimize the description of the chain dot and scimitar's mastery points. Fix the issue where nose would be retained after resetting mastery points. Wow, that's really important. Fix the issue orientation of destructible walls icons on the minimap. Fix the issue where UI would flash when switching chat channels. Optimize the display of other players' names when the blocking feature function is enabled. So, yeah, that is all for this update log. And again, I think the balance changes are not really the right direction. I much prefer them to do something about the cavalry themselves. But again, I'm one that wants interesting unit types rather than having unit types deal with other unit types. I don't like how people believe that sword and shield units beats up polearm unit. I mean polearm units beats up cavalry, and range just beats up non-shielded units. I mean cavalry counters infantry just straight up, both range and melee, and that just it's just I don't like it. I don't like this thinking where I don't like this thinking where certain unit types should have an inherent bonus or just straight up just beat other units. Like there are reasons why each weapon was chosen to fight off against a particular type of enemy. I, like seriously, like heavily armored knights struggled to fight off against the faster, smaller even cavalry from the Mongol horde. They again like different different strategies depending on factors about the capability of the unit, the weapon of the unit, and again, like it's more interesting if the pros and cons were more vague and again just were more interesting than oh just blow, just I'm just gonna blast. Like right now, all musket units just blast everything. It deals so much damage. All polearm units takes bonus damage. They just die. Cavalry units, they just die. Cavalry units also just like, oh, actually, no, we don't die. Instead, we kill you. It's bloody. It's insane. It's just insane. Um, very 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 uninteresting. When mastery was introduced and had these bonuses, absolutely terrible. Absolutely bonkers. Um, but yeah, cavalry being strong right now, buffing two anti-cavalry options. I don't count Onimusha as anti-cavalry. Even though they can do well against cavalry, I don't count it. But Border Rashios, Medals, I think the Medals are going to actually come back into the meta, which is great. I love the Medals. Only because they're a fun unit design. There are some things that I want to rip out and kind of like draw back to what it was before. I want to lower the potency of or the dependency on Medal Brace and make them more independent. And of course, I want to strengthen some of its damage capabilities. I've always been asking for more damage on the Medal. I don't care about the tankiness at this point. They're too tanky as it is. Like you just need more damage, and they would be absolutely gorgeous, absolutely mad lad meta. But regardless, that is just my opinion on how I think balance should go. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Other than that, my name is Atsukai. Have a nice day. Bye for now.